Hello everyone and welcome to the Serial Geek TV YouTube channel. My name is James Eatock and today we're going to look at a cartoon that you may have heard me talk about once or twice, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. For those that don't know, Ray of Disappearance was the first episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe aired on TV stations around the world. It was written by Robbie London as a pilot of sorts, introducing the audience to the heroes and villains of Eternia, as well as the basic premise of the series. Skeletor is the demon from another dimension that desires the unfathomable secrets held within Castle Grayskull. And He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, is tasked with preventing Skeletor from doing so. Ray of Disappearance initially debuted as part of a special titled The Greatest Adventures of All that premiered at the Mann's Chinese Theatre on Hollywood Boulevard, but that's another video in itself. Today I want to highlight a specific scene, actually a specific shot that takes place during the episode. When He-Man, learning that the lost Diamond of Disappearance has sent his friends and family to another dimension, he races to Castle Grayskull in order to communicate with the sorceress, the guardian of the aforementioned castle. Upon entering the castle we see this shot of He-Man's feet. Nothing remarkable about that, right? However, one thing I always picked up on as a kid was a faint voice in the background. Obtaining all the scripts to the He-Man series back in 2005, I hurriedly looked up the scene. Much to my surprise, there was no dialogue for that particular shot, but the asterisks by the description of the shot suggest that a line of dialogue was removed. Many years later, 2013 to be precise, I had the opportunity to work on the official He-Man YouTube channel. During this time I worked alongside Dušan Mitrović, who is some sort of evil wizard when it comes to audio and video. Working on the official He-Man YouTube channel, I had access to the music and effects tracks to all 130 episodes of He-Man and all 93 episodes of She-Ra. For those that don't know, the music and effects track is exactly what it is described to be, just the music and effects, no dialogue. This is so that when the episodes are sent overseas, the foreign markets can include their own respective languages. Here's an example of the full mix.
He-Man! Next time you might try knocking first. Get him!
Here's an example of the music and effects track. The first thing Dušan did upon having access to the music and effects track was restore as many instrumental tracks as he could by painstakingly going through all of the episodes and piecing together what he was able to. I believe in the end he restored somewhere in the region of well over 100 tracks, but that was just the half of it. What Dušan did next kind of blew my mind. He was able to take the music and effects track, take the final mix track, import them into a sound editor and magically extract the vocals. And here's an example of that.
He-Man! Next time you might try knocking first. Get him!
Also, during this process, he discovered the odd piece of dialogue here and there in certain episodes that had been buried in the sound mix, which brings us back to Ray of Disappearance. Dušan was able to extract that faint piece of dialogue from He-Man, and for the first time ever, we were able to hear the most powerful man in the universe say,
"Maybe we can reach her in the window of spirits."
That's pretty amazing, right? But Dušan wasn't done yet. He then restored the dialogue into the final mix. So for the first time in close to 4 decades, we were able to hear what the scene should have sounded like. And for your entertainment purposes, here is the scene with the missing dialogue now restored.
I command the drawbridge. Open!
Maybe we can reach her in the window of spirits.
Sorceress, sorceress, if you can hear me, tell me where you are.
So, there you go. Before I end this video, I thought it might be nice to showcase some of the storyboards from Ray of Disappearance alongside the final shots from the actual episode. The storyboard was finalised on January the 24th, 1983, which seems like a lifetime ago, and I guess it was. Interestingly, for a first episode, according to the production notes at least, it doesn't seem to have had many revisions carried out on it. The script for this episode, on the other hand, underwent many rewrites as Robbie London, the writer, and the heads of Filmation attempted to get the tone of the show just right. Hal Sutherland, one of the founders of Filmation, was the lead storyboard artist on this episode, and it's common for storyboards to look different when compared to the completed episodes. That is most definitely the case with these storyboards, as Hal Sutherland wasn't working to the Filmation stock system, as at this point it was still actually being created. Assisting Hal on the storyboards was the ludicrously talented Bob Klein, a name you will come to know on this channel. Bob Klein only ever worked freelance on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which is a shame as his layout artwork and storyboard work is some of the most celebrated on the series. Many, and I do mean many, artists that worked in the animation industry at the time considered him one of the best, and some of those same folk even collected his artwork. An example of Bob Klein's talent is that he storyboarded the transformation of Prince Adam into He-Man. So yes, incredibly talented individual. Aside from Hal Sutherland and Bob Klein, there were a plethora of talented storyboard artists that worked at Filmation, all of whom had the job of bringing scripts to life. I would say that most, if not all, storyboard artists did their best to work with the stock system in a very positive way, finding new ways to be creative with existing sequences that could be considered rather repetitive. I always find that storyboards are a wonderful insight into the production of any cartoon, as sometimes the storyboard panels will be stronger, sometimes weaker. You get a real sense of what the storyboard artists, the layout artists, the animators and the directors were all looking for. In the future I shall feature many more storyboards on this channel, so please stay tuned. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed this very first video on the channel. Trust me when I say this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to He-Man and She-Ra related content. So for the time being, thank you for watching the video. Please be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one.